you'll matzah me. If you're searching with all of your heart and all of your soul, which I can't help but think about when I'm sitting around the Passover with my children.
Does it only take 18 minutes?
Huh?
Does it only take 18 minutes?
Does it only take 18 minutes? I'm not following you, I'm sorry.
Rabbinic for kosher for Passover, 18 minutes.
Well, it took so long this past time that where I hid it inside of a lampshade, I never expected anybody to turn the lamp on, and the napkin was catching on fire. The matzah became the light. All right, but the point is here at Passover, when we do that little tradition, little custom. What are the children doing? Searching. And the idea here is they're not going to leave anything uncovered until they find that they are looking for. And I want to emphasize it's the children who do this. Because how are we to approach our Father? Little children. Let me ask you this. Do little children, do they know all the technical issues that you as the parent know? Do they know how that light socket gets its energy? Do they understand all those things?
Some do, some don't.
I don't understand how they do. Really? Do they understand at 3 how to drive a car? Do they?
Some do, it's scary.
Are you going to put them behind the wheel of your car? In other words, they really...
A nephew.
A nephew, okay.
Okay, yeah.
But do we agree that children at large don't know how to do these kinds of things?
Yes.
All right? So what does that tell me then? That when we approach our Father, is it expected that we know all things?
Impossible.
Yeah, that's right. It's impossible. My impression of the first day in the kingdom. You want to get this on tape? First day in the kingdom. Here it goes.
Yep.
It really was a conjunction. Do little children know all things? No. So how are we to approach our Father? As little children, which is suggesting what?
With our
With our hearts. With our chart. With our hearts. And so those little children are going around now, they're searching diligently to find the matzah. Now matzah, I should make sure that we say this. That unleavened bread that we eat at Passover is spelled slightly different. It's with the hay instead of the aleph at the end. But, I mean, come on. If it says matzah, what's the first thing that's going to pop in your mind?
Bread.
Okay? And so when we go and those children find that matzah, and we bring it back to the Seder table, what are we going to do? We're going to take it out, right? And we're going to bless, and we're going to break. Aren't we? And we as believers, we pay special attention to this matzah because in that matzah, what do we see? Bruises, piercings. And that's important to us because He was bruised for our iniquities. By His stripes we are healed. They shall look upon Him whom they have pierced and mourn for Him as one mourns for an only son. They have pierced my hands and my feet. And so that matzah is very important to us because it is symbolic of the Messiah, His suffering. And what does His suffering express? His mercy. His mercies are new how often? Every morning. He is long-suffering that none should perish. Right? Why? Because He is love. And so when we look upon that matzah, do we see bread? We have people that actually told the manufacturers how to make the matzah. And to make sure that it has the brown spots and stripes on it and the holes in it. And so that when we go to the store, unless you make your own matzah at home, You go to the store and you find the matzah. You find the little place where it says kosher for Passover. Right? So why did those people want to make sure the matzah had holes and stripes? Was it because they believe Yeshua is Messiah? So when a lot of those people look at the matzah, what do they see? Matzah, bread, the form of it, right? But what are we supposed to be looking at? What does it represent? What is this visible thing that is teaching us of His invisible attributes?
He's the bread of
Right?
life.
And so it is impossible to look at the same thing and come to two different conclusions if you're not searching with your heart. So if you seek me, you will matzah, you will find me. I can't ignore the fact that these words are phonetically related, and so what is the hint here? If you're going to find Him, you're going to have to go through the Messiah to do it. If you're going to find Him, if He's going to be revealed to you, there's no way around the Messiah. And when I see the Messiah, I am supposed to see His heart full of grace and truth. So I said I was going to close with that. Let me make this one last point. Two disciples on the day of the resurrection, they're traveling to Emmaus. And they're discussing the events of the day. And they encounter a stranger, someone they didn't recognize. And this stranger strikes up a conversation with them, says to them, "What are you guys talking about?" As if he didn't know what they were talking about. He strikes up a conversation with them, and they said, "Well, the one that we thought was the Redeemer of Israel. Well, he was delivered up to our rulers, and they crucified him. And this morning, we hear reports from women in our company and men in our company that his body is not in the tomb. And we're just not really certain what's going on here because," and I'm kind of expressing what I think is hidden between the lines. What happened didn't fit what we thought was going to happen. When Messiah said, "Son of Man will be crucified, will be delivered up, and crucified and raised on the third day," what did Peter want to do? He wanted to stop it, didn't he? And when Messiah rebuked him and said, "Get behind me, Satan," what did he tell him? He says, "Because Peter, you're not thinking the way God thinks. You're not looking at it the way God looks at it. You're looking at it the way men look at it. Intellect, not heart." So he was rebuked for it. So the stranger's walking along talking to these guys and conversing about all the events of the day, and we're not sure what's going on here. We don't know what to make of all this. And here's what the stranger said. He said, "Why are you so slow to believe all that the prophets have written? Ought not the Messiah to have suffered these things and entered into His glory?" And then beginning at Moses and the prophets, he began to expound to them all the things that were written of Himself. And so when he did that, when he went to Moses, when he went to the Torah, when he went to the prophets, what was he talking to them about? What was he expounding to them about? Slivers and conjunctions? Pronunciations? Or how the Messiah is in every one of these things, every issue that is addressed in the Torah? "Lo, I come, in the scroll of the book it is written of me." David can't make that claim, even though David wrote that. No, it's only the Son of David that can make that claim. "You search the Scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life," he says. "But those Scriptures you're searching are about me," he said. It's not Moses that's going to rise up in accusations against you. It's not me that's going to do that. It was Moses in whom you trust. Because Moses wrote about me. So when he's expounding to them all these things from Moses and the prophets, he's expounding what Moses had to say about the Messiah. What is he revealing to them? The visible or the invisible? And so they start to go into the house, and the stranger acted like he was going to walk off. Which, we'll just read over that and not think anything about it, but think about that for just a second. He knew he wasn't going to continue on. He acted like he was going to go, well, I got to get going. It's getting late here. I said, no, come into the house. Come in and break bread with us. Remember, this is on the day of the resurrection, so it's still unleavened bread. As he goes into the house with them. And what does he take? He takes a piece of matzah. And he blesses, broke it. And what happened?
They saw him.
Their eyes were open. And when their eyes were open, they perceived him. They saw him. They found him. And then they said, did not our brains burn within us? Did not our hearts burn within us as he spoke these things? I hope I've made my point. And that really wasn't the direction I intended to go. But I'm just going to trust that the Father is guiding all of us, that His Spirit is going to lead us, as He said that it would, into all truth. And if He's going to do that, then we need to reaffirm the fact of what Yeshua said, that He is the way, the truth, and the life.
Yes.
So when we come back this evening at 7, instead of 7:30, we're going to kind of pick up and, look at some things that are happening in our world and how all this factors into how we're going to be the light, how we're going to be salt. Are we going to be servants, or are we going to just be survivors? Amen? Hey, thanks for your patience and your time. I hope it was worth your while. Thank you very much, Ryan.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you for that message. Lights in the world. That's our function. So, anyway, first of all, I just want to say that we appreciate Bill and that he's come up to share with us truth. We can't put a dollar amount on the food that he's just fed on the truth, on the word. But we can bless him. We can support the ministry. The box up here tells us who to make your offerings out to. Shosha Ministries. So let's bless him today. Bill, do you have any product?
I do.
Okay, the marketplace is right up here.
Okay.
If somebody could give a hand, get that stuff out. I think there's a table there waiting for them. And so let's go ahead and visit the marketplace. Let's see. Okay, don't forget about bringing your food. It's 5 o'clock at the lodge, and we'll break bread together about 5:30. And 2 p.m. games, family games, Bible games here, right here, with Joe Miller. And we're also tonight we're going to have a children's program here right before Bill speaks. That's why we're starting a little bit early. We've got some few announcements to make and a special music
The
song.
meal at 5:30.
What's that?
Meal, 5:30.
5:30.
Yeah,
He
here
said
at
that.
the lodge. Yeah, he said that.
Yeah, I just said.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he did.
I agree.